Imagine you are driving on a narrow mountain road at night. Suddenly your engine stops. Your lights flicker and die. You are surrounded by absolute darkness, miles from the nearest town. In that moment, what is your first thought? Most people would feel a surge of panic. They see a disaster, a threat, an end, but a trained mechanic might see something else. An opportunity to test their skills under pressure, or a forced moment of silence they hadn't had in years. The mountain didn't change. The darkness didn't change. Only the cognitive reframing changed. In life, crises are inevitable, but crisis is rarely a permanent state of reality. It is more often a label we place on an unexpected event. Today, I want to teach you a system to peel back that label. We call it the cognitive reframing matrix. This is a tool designed to take the chaos of a disaster and process it into the fuel for your next great breakthrough. Let's look at the story of Sarah. Sarah was a senior project manager who had spent 3 years pouring her soul into a tech startup. One Tuesday morning, without warning, the company filed for bankruptcy. In an hour, Sarah went from having a high-status career to being unemployed with a mortgage. She felt like her world had collapsed. She was trapped in what psychologists call catastrophic thinking. She sought out her former professor, a man named Dr. Aris, who was known for his work in resilience training. Instead of offering sympathy, Dr. Aris drew a simple 4-quadrant grid on a piece of paper. "Sarah," he said, "you are not a victim of a bankruptcy. You are currently stuck in the wrong quadrant of your own mind. Let's use the matrix. The first quadrant is objective deconstruction. When a crisis hits, our emotions blur the facts. We say, 'I am a failure,' or 'everything is ruined.' Dr. Aris forced Sarah to list only the cold, hard facts. The fact was not, 'I am a failure.' The fact was, the company ran out of funding. By stripping away the emotional adjectives, Sarah regained her first sense of agency, the power to see the world as it actually is, not as her fear painted it. The second quadrant is subjective filtering. This is where we examine the story. We tell ourselves. Sarah realized her story was, "I wasted 3 years of my life." Dr. Aris challenged her. "Is that the only true story?" He pushed her to find a different filter. What if the story was, "I just completed a 3-year, high-intensity masterclass in startup management, and now I am free to apply that knowledge elsewhere"? This is the heart of cognitive reframing. It is not lying to yourself. It is choosing a perspective that empowers action instead of paralysis. The third quadrant is the leverage identification, Dr. Aris asked. What does this crisis allow you to do that you couldn't do yesterday? This is a difficult question to ask when you are hurting, but for Sarah, the answer was profound. She had always wanted to start her own consultancy, but the safety of her job had acted like a golden cage. The bankruptcy had unlocked the door. The crisis had provided her with the one thing she lacked, a reason to take a risk. The final quadrant is the actionable output. Once you have the facts, a new story, and your leverage, you must act. The matrix is useless if it stays on paper. Sarah didn't look for another job immediately. Instead, she reached out to 3 former clients and offered her services as an independent consultant. Within a month, she was earning more than her previous salary, with twice the freedom. Sarah's situation changed because her internal architecture changed. She moved from a state of reaction to a state of design. The secret of the cognitive reframing matrix is rooted in the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. It teaches us that while we cannot control the wind, we can always adjust our sails. A crisis is simply a sudden change in the wind. If you view it as a personal attack from the universe, you will sink. But if you view it as a force that can be harnessed, you can use that same wind to reach a destination you never thought possible. To reclaim your sense of control, you must stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this making possible?" Next time you face a setback, don't just feel it, map it. Deconstruct the facts. Filter your narrative. Identify your leverage, and generate your output. You are not the victim of your circumstances. You are the architect of your response. The crisis is not the end of the road. It is the beginning of a different, more powerful path. You just need to reframe the map.